Hi guys, Penny here, and I am an oyster boy, and today we're not in our usual place. We're not in Ace's kitchen, we're not in my tasting corner in my garden. We're actually on my raised bed where I've sort of got a couple of herbs growing, a bit of garlic and stuff like that. And the reason is we're going to be getting floral, and we're going to be exploring and adding some of the herbs in the beer. So I've got a bit of garlic here, I've got a bit of tarragon, I've got rosemary, thyme, some dill growing there, sage, cheval. We've got parsley. In the corner, hopefully, we've got Torbury bush. It's going quite really well, so hopefully I'll have some good Torburys, make a Torbury wheat. So one of the herbs that I love is sage, but I don't really tend to use it in cooking that much. I know, obviously, unless you're making a stuffing, I've not really come across many things for it. So, that, I mean, you get that eucalyptus taste, quite earthy, really peppery. Sometimes the way you cut it, it can come a bit bitter. So I thought, well, I know, why don't I use it in a beer? So I've done some research, and one of the beer styles that regularly comes up with using fresh herbs is a Saison. So I thought, well, let's give it a go. So I've done my research with the grain bill. So we've got 80%, and that's just your extra pale malt. 10%, we've got a bit of wheat in there, just to give it a bit of body, and also some aromatic malt. So when I've done the research, the main ones that come up were maybe Vienna malt, Munich malt, and aromatic. I thought, well, I've not used it, so let's give it a go. And get it in there. We're going to use East Kent Goldings to bitter it, and then a bit of Styrian Gold on Whirlpool. I chose those hops because they sort of give that earthy pepperiness to match the sage, and then we're also going to add the sage probably about 5 minutes with the left of the boil, kill off any sort of maybe potential yeast that's going to be on there. And then we're going to obviously transfer it, and then we're going to ferment it using a WHC Farmhouse. And then, yeah, hopefully we're going to have a good beer for people to see. So we'll jump over for me a bit of brewing footage, and then hopefully me and Ace can taste it, and it's going to be excellent. Hi guys, Penny here. So unfortunately it started to rain, classic, had to move the grain father inside. But yeah, I've got the sage here, so I've got about 30 grams worth of sage. Going to give it a wash just in case there's any bugs on it and stuff like that. And then we're going to get it in the boil.
Hi guys, I'm Mark.
I'm Penny.
And we are the Oyster Boys. And today, Penny's got a beer that he's made from scrambling around in his garden, haven't you?
Yeah, so obviously we did you've seen me before in my raised bed. So the Saison's finished, completed. I've even got a fresh one because some people expect it. Someone said, oh, does it taste like stuffing? I said, no, it doesn't taste like stuffing.
You know what it smells like? It smells like tea, in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose you get that. The bitterness, I know if you rip it, it does sort of go bitter. It's definitely like a eucalyptus smell that you get from it. So, but yeah.
I've only really had it in like you say, in stuffing.
Yeah, so you've not had it in beer?
No, surprisingly, I've not gone into my local and seen them with a beer on tap with sage in it. So it'd be interesting to see how it's turned out. But do you want to tell us a bit about the recipe?
The recipe. So, I mean, I just talked about it before. Very simple. 90% was just Pilsen malt, 10% wheat, 10% aromatic malt. Nice and easy. Styrian Golding and East Kent Golding went into it. So
and some WHC Farmhouse vibes yeast.
That was it. Yeah, and sage.
And
30 grams,
yeah,
30 grams of
How many
sage that
two
went
bags
in,
is that?
Probably one, maybe,
yeah,
I don't know, one full one. But I mean, the Saison style, I mean, we made it a long time ago before we started reviewing beers. Typically, obviously, the Farmhouse style, I mean, we've looked a bit at history. DuPont are the ones that made it famous, Saison DuPont. Yeah. And it's sort of, basically it died out after World War I, the style, and it was sort of brought back, and it's like, is it a wheat beer? Is it a lambic? Well, no, it's a hoppy Farmhouse style.
Yeah.
And hopefully I've stuck true to that as well. So it should be dry, dry.
I was just funky. Chuckling a little bit there when you say about it being dry and funky, because I remember the last Saison that we made, because it really wasn't to my tastes, and it was one where I put off drinking it, but the longer I left it, the more it tasted like TCP. Or not like TCP, but the funk really developed. Should we dive in, because the weather is going bad? So, I mean, what do you think for looks?
I mean, it's darker than I would have liked.
Yeah.
Personally,
is that
I was aiming for. I think it was the malt, the aromatic malt. So I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah, I think a 6.8.
But I think it's going to score great everywhere else.
Check out the aroma.
Which is, so For me, I
It
almost...
does smell like a wheat beer, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. You almost get a little bit of that banana and the cloveness from it, but fruity as well.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fruit smell coming from it. I think, yeah.
Smells like rain.
Like almost like a peachiness. Would you say?
It's kind of like, yeah, so very like overripe banana.
Yeah.
Peach, like that kind of stone fruity smell.
But you can tell that's coming from the yeast. It's
also got
funky.
it's got some little twist somewhere in the background, isn't it? Which
Maybe-
might be from this.
Slight bit of eucalyptus.
Yeah.
But
How did you add the sage? Was it in the boil?
it was in the boil because I was worried about potentially having some.
Creepy crawlies.
Yeah,
on it.
well, creepy crawlies, wild yeast as well. I mean, I've got all my other herbs, flowers. We've got strawberries and torberries, and you don't know what's floating around wild yeast. So I didn't want it to be a sour beer.
No, I mean, there's a couple of other things you could have done because you could have thrown it in the whirlpool at like 80 degrees.
That's
true.
true.
At the
That's
end,
true.
post boil, still high enough to pasteurize it, make sure there's no living things on there. Or you could have
It's not
made
hot
like
though.
a
It doesn't have to worry about sulfur acids.
no. I suppose, or you could have made like a tincture by leaving it in vodka and extracting some of the flavors and aromas.
Possibly.
But I mean,
But I did it this way anyway.
It smells good. I'd give it
It's
an 8.
really. I get
it
8.5. I
Yeah.
think it smells absolutely. If I got that and served that, I'd go. I can't wait to dive in.
Should we give it a try?
Yes, please.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to the rain.
Oh,
Oh, that's different, that, isn't it? But not in a bad way, though.
no.
That's
nice.
got like, it's almost got like a bubblegummy sweetness to it. Really, really like late on, there's a bit of a sour twang. That yeast
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah,
That
it's really
yeast
dry, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really dry.
And you get just at the end that like eucalyptus bitterness just on like the back of my tongue.
I
as
think
it
you could have gone a
finishes.
bit higher with the carbonation on it.
Yeah, well, we had regulator issues, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So definitely could have gone higher. Maybe a little bit more of the sage. Maybe.
I think maybe just looking at different ways to add the sage in rather than just in the boil, like at the post boil, or you do a dry sage charge or anything
That's
like
true.
that, and see what you could do, because I think I want more of the sage aroma in there as well.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, that's a cracking beer, mate.
Yeah.
I reckon.
I'm gonna give it
how,
9.
how strong is it? Oh,
Sorry, well-
I want to know actually
Okay.
for the taste, but yeah,
It's about 5.6, 5.7.
yeah, that's a good beer.
I think you're surprised by it, aren't
I
you?
am very surprised because yeah, I would never pick a saison.
No. But it is hitting all the marks. It is dry. It is fruity. It is it's a bit of spicy.
Yeah.
It's got some other
It's a nice
twists
spice,
in it,
isn't it?
and yeah.
Go on then, mate. I'll give you a 9 as well.
Thanks.
You've earned it. Price-wise, what are we talking?
So without the sage, obviously, because it was free from my garden.
Yeah.
But, it was 62p a pint.
And what about with the sage? I mean, how much do you price your sage at? It's organic?
Yeah, it is organic.
yeah,
it's naturally grown, made with rainwater. I mean, I think you can get about 60p for
So it's only going to put 2p a pint
2p on it.
on the
Maybe
cost,
if you
yeah.
needed 2 packets, maybe it put 4p on it. You're talking
Yeah.
pennies.
It's
literally.
refreshing to have a beer that's like this kind of price, because I mean, we do so many really big hoppy beers that are like
Yeah.
£1, £2 plus per pint now. And at this, for 62p a pint, is mega, and I give that a 9.
And I think I got the hop selection was really right for it as well. Yeah, what did you give it? 8.9.
A 9.
A 9.
I give it a 9.
I'm
yeah,
gonna,
got
I'm going to give it a 9 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
to. Sessionability.
I mean, it's
I couldn't have.
no, it's not.
huge
Saisons aren't.
amount. Yeah, it's
known
not.
for their session. Do you know what? It's a beer that I'd expect to be paired with cheeses.
Yeah,
Or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
that sort of beer. You go to sort of an artisan place and they serve you like a third
Yeah.
with cheese. Like that.
1/3. I don't think I've ever
Yeah,
had
or a schooner.
1/3, you know.
A schooner.
Schooner's commonplace now, aren't they? But
Yeah.
I've never really had a 1/3 measure of beer. But if there was some good
Oh,
cheese
I
to go with
have.
it, I'd be all over it.
We did it the
Glenafric.
Glenafric, when the beer was like the 20% barrel aged.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
You don't want a pint of that, do you?
No. So
Sorry, I was in the homebrew tap last week, and I'd ordered a pint of
you
something.
were at home, you mean?
No, it's a pub near me, right?
Yeah, that's your home.
And my second home.
Yeah.
And the way that it's laid out, the menu's at one end of the bar on the wall, written in chalk, and the bar's obviously at the other end. And I was stood at the bar, turning around trying to see something. I was like, oh, that sounds nice. It was like a shore shop beer, and I was like, I'll have a pint of that. And the guy said, we can serve you a pint, but it'll be like 12 quid.
Oh.
I said, you know what, mate, I'll have something else.
Oh dear.
Sessionability, I could probably have 3 of them then.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
I would give it 3 as well. I think you'd start to be saged out.
Yeah, absolutely. I would turn into a chicken dinner.
Yeah, and I think on this rain note as well.
Yeah. Here's the oyster score for this beer.
Sorry guys.
Sorry guys, gotta go. It's absolutely belted down. Smash like, hit subscribe. Oysters out.